Okay, letting y'all know from the jump of this, we're gonna be talking about Tana Mongeau in a situation, and we're gonna be talking about James Charles in a different situation, but low-key, it kind of has like the same, it's within the same family, it's within the same realm, okay? So that's why I wanted to put these two topics together. When it comes down to like titling my videos and like creating thumbnails of like two different topics or two different people that I'm going to be talking about, y'all, I'm really stuck on stupid. Like, to be straight up with you guys, I literally go to ChatGPT to like help me out with the title, and then I'm like, oh, this just sounds so generic and just not catchy. Do you know what I mean? And of course, when you're making drama videos, you want like the most catchy headline, but then I'm like, wait, you don't want to insinuate that like, oh, because, you know, Tana Mongeau is speaking out about this and James Charles is getting called out because of this, that those are in connection, because this is not in connection. These are two different situations. James Charles is getting called out for like basically low-key being greedy, okay? And then Tana Mongeau is speaking out about like being charitable, and she doesn't really know if like her posting that online should be, you know, would it be considered like performative? And I do have to say this, okay, before jumping into like her situation, because I want to talk about Tana Mongeau first. I am of the belief, okay, that even if somebody is doing something charitable and it's on camera, like, honestly, y'all, I don't really have a problem with that. I got to keep it real with you guys. If you guys don't recall, I want to say, maybe about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I honestly don't even remember when Mr. Beast had made this video to where he had said that he was curing 1,000 people's blindness. So many people were calling him out and saying that he was exploiting the people that were within the video because he's using them for content. And I got to keep it so real with you guys. If I had any type of disease or any type of illness that Mr. Beast could help fund to find a cure for, I don't care. Use me for content. I literally don't care, because you're helping me get something that I wasn't able to achieve beforehand. You know what I'm saying? I think I actually had even said within that video that I made about that, like, y'all, my literal lifelong goal is to just own a home, which low-key I feel like is so damn sad to say, like, oh my gosh, I just want to own a home, and it just seems like so unobtainable. However, that's my goal. And honestly, y'all, if Mr. Beast were to offer to buy me a damn house, do you think I'm going to care that he like uses me for content? Absolutely not, because I feel like at the end of the day, he's doing a good deed. He's doing a charitable deed. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people out there, like, let's go ahead and keep it real. Mr. Beast, perfect example. He could get out there and he could make a video, oh, I spent $50 million at Ferrari today, or I spent $50 million on a shopping spree today. He's still going to get millions of views. So in my eyes, I view it as in like, oh, if he's doing a good deed and also getting views to help his channel or whatever, like low-key, he's still doing a good deed. So me personally, you know, you guys are going to see, obviously, Tana Mongeau is speaking out like, I don't know, like, if I should like post the charitable things that I do, because I guess a lot of people were like, you know, speaking out about, you know, the SNAP benefits situation right now here within America. If you guys are not from America, basically there's like, you know, federal funding that's being held to help with government assisted food programming, right? Which y'all know, okay, if you guys had listened to podcasts before, y'all, I have relied on SNAP 2 times in my life, okay? And that has, when I say saved my life, like, y'all don't even understand, like, me being on SNAP, like, dead ass, has saved me from going into literal debt, okay? So I'm like, low key, it's good that people, you know, want to speak out about this. However, here's the tricky thing though, is Tana Mongeau was like, I do so many charitable things, I just don't film them because I don't want to come across as performative, as if I'm like exploiting these people out there on the street or whatever. And she was stuck in an area of, but then I have people calling me out saying, oh, I'm not doing anything to help. And she does luxury hauls, like if she goes to Louis Vuitton, if she goes to Prada, Chanel, or whatever, like she does those type of videos, which by the way, I love to see those type of videos, because in a weird way, I find them inspirational and they like motivate me of like, oh my God, like I want to like be able to go out there and like buy a nice car or something, or I want to be able to, you know, buy luxury something every now and then, which I've never been able to really do. Do you know what I'm saying? So to me, I find that inspirational. I do like seeing that type of content because it really like motivates me, honestly, if I'm keeping it real with you guys. But then also, I got to keep it real with you guys, I just seen a video of like Wendy Ortiz, for example, and she was at like a store and she was buying people's groceries, and I have to say I found that so inspirational, and I didn't find it to be exploitative or like she's using these people and their, you know, unfortunate situations or anything like that. Like I didn't take it that way. I was like, oh my God, she's doing a good deed. And I feel like when other people see that, they'll be inspired to do a good deed too. However, there is a big chunk of the internet that really do get irritated when influencers who are live streaming or even just creating YouTube videos or creating content in general, they don't like that they're showing their charitable deeds online. And I got to keep it real with you guys. This is where I guess maybe I have a controversial opinion. I think that if you're doing a good deed and it just so happens to be for content or for your channel or whatever the case is, at least you're doing a good deed, because these people people can obviously go out there and do any other type of content that is not being charitable and still get views as well too. So this is where I'm just kind of like, hey, at the end of the day, if you're doing something charitable, even if it is for an ulterior motive, even if it is just for your channel, even if it is just for views, at least you're doing something good. But then also, okay, I'm saying right there, obviously, if a person is using that specifically for views, do you know what I'm saying? But then you also do have this very unfortunate situation because people speak out about that say, for example, if like Tana Mongeau does something good, if she's at freaking Target or something and she wants to pay for 5 people's orders and she just so happens to be live streaming, then people are going to be like, oh girl, you're exploiting or whatever. And she's like, what the hell? I'm literally just doing, this as a good deed. So this is where things really do get tricky. And I have to say personally, it's literally always been a goal of mine and a dream of mine to be able to go to a grocery store during, I don't know why for some reason I've just like always envisioned during Thanksgiving time. Like I would love to go to the damn grocery store and literally like, say for example, at my local grocery store, I want to say that there's 10 checkout lanes. And as I'm like there, I pay for my order or whatever, and I want to pay for all 10 people's orders. Do you know what I mean? Like all in a row. I just would dream of doing that ever since I used to work at the damn grocery store. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. However, I haven't had the finances to do that. Like, yes, obviously, like, I'd be making decent money from YouTube. However, not that much money. Do you know what I mean? I'm over here making Tana Mongeau money and like Mr. Beast money and James Charles money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously they got shmoney. I'm like, I can't even afford a damn house over here. But one day I would like to do that. So me personally, I get really inspired when I see content creators do this. However, I don't know, people just make a negative out of a positive. I'm like, oh my God, shut up, y'all. Let people do these good things. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I do want to go ahead and start this off by talking about Tana Mongeau and to where she was speaking out about this, because I don't know, I understand where she's coming from. I do think that a lot of people, if she were to put things on the internet of her being charitable, I do think that people will be like, oh, she's just doing that for attention. She's just doing that for views. And I feel like that's very unfortunate because whatever the reason is, at least she's doing something good. So I'm going to play a small portion from her TikTok because y'all, it's 6 minutes long. So I'm not going to play the full thing, but I do want you guys to just like get the gist of it because I'm so curious to know your guys' opinions on this topic in general. And then we're going to get into James Charles because he's speaking out, y'all. He made a video on his second TikTok account and y'all, he is like popping off saying, stop asking me for money. And then I'm like, you know what, low key, why do I kind of understand where he's coming from too? You get what I'm saying? Anyways, go ahead and check out this clip right here from Tana Mongeau.
Okay, I got a few comments on a post yesterday and they've just really had me like thinking for like a full 24 hours about if I want to talk about it and just like how I feel, okay? And obviously I've been seeing everything going on with like SNAP funding and just the fact that like kids really cannot eat and families cannot eat. And like my whole For You page has been families stealing from grocery stores and like people applauding them, obviously, because it's not a crime, it's survival, and just thinking about the state of the world and how sad it is. So obviously I have already donated to everything I've seen. And like, I also just am the type of person where in my day-to-day life, I really try to make a difference. Like if I see a homeless person, I am taking a wad of cash out of my purse and I'm giving them money. If I'm at a restaurant, I am tipping like double the bill all the time. Like I just want to like spread my money in every way that I can because I'm so aware that I'm so privileged to have it. And especially for so much of my life, I didn't have money and I knew what it felt like to not have money. And I knew what it felt like to have so many problems and stressors caused simply by not having money. And I would not be able to sleep at night as a human being if I did not spread my wealth and help people. And it's just who I am and how I've always been, for the most part, behind the scenes. And I think that's a double-edged sword, right? Because then I get comments that are like, you do these hauls and I can't believe you don't donate. And like, obviously, as you've seen across many other things, I have come online and publicly donated and talked about things. But I would say like 50% of the time, I am the type of person where I'm just kind of doing it and not thinking to bring it to social media. Because I think that I am the type of person deep down where I do get like cringed out at myself. Like it's so weird because when I see other people donating money or going up to people and filming it and I'm like just doing nice things and recording it, I don't judge them, right? I'm like, this is so cool. They're spreading this message. They're like helping people. They're doing good into the world. They're encouraging other people to do good into the world. But then the second I start to do it, I like see the comments in my head and it's like, you're just posting this for attention. And it like makes me want to crawl in a hole and die.
Okay, so hopefully you guys were able to see what she was getting at there, that it's very unfortunate that she does do like luxury hauls and she has people like, oh my God, you're purchasing all these expensive things while people are like, potentially like losing their SNAP benefits and things like that. Like it comes across as in very insensitive and it's kind of like, oh, you're showing your wealth while people are struggling, which by the way, I have a whole different mindset on that. I just feel like, obviously at the end of the day, it is very unfortunate as somebody, like I said, and if you guys have watched the podcast before, I literally made it one of my yucks and my yums. If you guys didn't watch the podcast before, yucks and yums would kind of be like a peek in a pit. I literally was like, well, my yum of the week is I got approved for SNAP. My yuck of the week is I got approved for SNAP. Like it's low-key embarrassing that I had to like rely on that because my views obviously were not doing so well and for whatever reason. So it's kind of like, as somebody who has been broke, I have always found it inspirational when I see people do these luxury hauls because I think things like that, like it makes me want to grind so that way I could be able to afford the finer things in life. Do you know what I mean? And I do have to keep it real. Sometimes I think that people do get a little bit bitter if they are not financially there. And to me, y'all, I viewed it as in like, I'm not going to get bitter. I'm going to get better. Do you know what I mean? And it's been inspiring to me. So this is where I think that it sucks that people want to be so damn negative and shoot people down. And I do understand where she's coming from. And I do think that people will probably be like, girl, you're being performative right now. You're just doing this for views and, you know, using and exploiting people. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know, y'all. At the end of the day, if she's doing something good, freaking post it. Who cares? You're going to inspire other people to do the same thing too. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into James Charles, y'all, because oh my gosh, of course people are calling him out and they're calling him greedy and they're saying like, oh, like he's just doing the most when it comes down to this topic. However, okay, this is where, and I look, have a better understanding of this, okay? Because if you're on the internet, I got to keep it with you guys. Like, y'all, it's so, okay. I'm going to be so fair with you guys. If you guys have like ever looked at like my social bladed shit before, like I do not make money like this. And I got to keep it real with you guys. I have received some DMs and emails as well before of people asking me for money. And I'm sitting over here like, do you think that I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars? Do you think that I'm making millions of dollars? I'm not even making tens of thousands of dollars a month, literally. So to me, it's just kind of like, you're asking me for money, boo. I need money too. Like, so I kind of understand where James Charles is coming from. Yes, of course, James Charles is a freaking multimillionaire. Like I had saw like a report somewhere that his house is like damn near $10 million. Okay. So yes, he has a lot of money, but then also at the same time too, like people just be up in his comments, and I have seen it before myself, y'all, just asking him for money. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I could see how that could be a little bit irritating. Here's the thing though. People are obviously getting pressed about this because when he made this like TikTok, people are, you know, right now in limbo basically of getting their SNAP benefits with obviously federal funding being withheld. So the timing of everything did come across a little bit insensitive. However, I do have to say, I do understand his point. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do understand of like, damn, this shit could be a little bit annoying that like he's over here just like making videos and he's getting comments. Can I have $500 for this? Can I have $100 for this? Or I just graduated. Can you send me $100? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, that would be annoying. Honestly, I got to keep it real. I would be annoyed with that too. Like if I was ever super successful on the internet, of course, 100%, I would love to be freaking charitable. Like, honestly, y'all, it would just make me feel so good as a person if I were able to do that. However, if I had people up in my comments every day asking for money, I'd be like, okay, this shit is tiring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, people on social media, yes, some of them make great money. However, they're not freaking billionaires. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, they don't have money to go around for everybody. So this is where I'm kind of like, I do understand it, but then low key, the timing of it is pretty bad. So I do want to go to play his TikTok right here that people are upset about. Check it out.
Stop asking me for money. Oh my, I don't know if any other influencer has to deal with this, but holy, I probably get 100 messages a day from people, and every single one is the same. Hi, you. I know that you're never going to see this, but I love you. I enjoy your content so much. Your videos really make me smile, even on my worst days. Which, by the way, speaking of, today is my worst day because my mom died. And then I got diagnosed with a really, really rare disease. And I was on the way to the hospital for an appointment for that disease. And somebody hit my car. And then my car exploded. And my leg flew off. So I hopped home on my one leg, and then when I opened my front door, water came rushing out, and my whole house was flooded, and now I'm homeless. So can you please send me $100,000, because I'm a really big fan. And then you look at the top of the DM, and they're not even following you. Bitch, get the out of here with that generic ass, copied and pasted ass, chat GP generated ass, America's Got Talent, Golden Buzzer, sob story, bullshit. No, you can't have $100,000, you dumb. Oh my God, no!
So there y'all saw from right there, he was popping off on people asking for money. And y'all, I do have to say this too, people were in his comments of that video, and I think obviously they were being sarcastic. They were like, oh, I just, you know, had this happen or this happen, could I have $500? And he wrote back no to like multiple people. So I do have to say he's obviously doubling down on it. But like I said, I could definitely understand where he is coming from, because low-key, that would be kind of irritating. Like, I think, you know, if there's any social media influencers watching this right now, can you guys just imagine if people were like in your comments every day asking for money? It's like, okay, like what the hell? Like, it does seem a little bit, you know what I mean? Also, can I keep it so real with you guys? Low-key, I think that like people be having balls to like just be up on the internet asking for money, because y'all, even when I was doing the podcast before, and I literally had stated on there when I was like, oh, well, you know, I submitted my finances and everything, and I sure enough did qualify for freaking SNAP, which just goes to show how freaking poor I am. Like, the fact that I even said that up on my podcast, like, y'all, I was not up out there asking for money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would never get out there, even when I'm live, like, y'all know I'm sitting over here like, y'all, I'm on live right now. Like, yes, don't get me wrong, wrong, like sending a super chat. Oh yes, of course I appreciate it, and I really do, you know, love it. However, I'm like, I'm not gonna be up out there asking for money. Like, I'm just not. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I can, like, you know, go and work at Walmart or something, and obviously I'm like trying my hardest to not do that. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I could go do that. Do you know what I mean? So I low-key would feel like, I don't know, I feel like I would be doing a little too much by asking for money. And y'all know, I'm sure you guys have been around, for those of you that have been around long enough, like, y'all, I've hit some real big financial hardships, and I still haven't done that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, people got balls. But then I do have to say, like, the timing of everything, like, yeah, oh shit, I hit the mic, sorry. The timing of everything does seem not so great, okay? I was like, oh, well, maybe this is not the time to post that. Maybe if you posted it a couple months ago, do you know what I mean? That would have been better. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.